Hello, and welcome back. Now let's continue to our previous demonstration for conducting interview. In video we are giving very fine detail, but once you get familiar with the system, it's very simple system. Let's go back to Interview Operation Hub. In this we have already set up 6 interview round for Rashmi Jain. Suppose you have hundreds of candidate, and you want to filter the candidate by their email ID. Use this filter box and type email ID, and it will filter out and show only matching candidate. Now let's say you want to copy or paste the first round of interview detail. Simply click on the copy info button. It will let you know that interview information is copied, and now you can paste on Notepad or WhatsApp or email. Whatever way you want to share with candidate, you can share this detail, and candidate can use to appear in interview. Another convenient way is to send an email from the portal itself. Hence, please click on email and share button for that specific round of interview. It will ask for confirmation that you want to share the interview round detail with candidate. If you are sure, you can always click yes. This is a confidential information which candidate should have received in his email box. However, if candidate complain he has not received information or it's in spam box, you can always use copy info functionality. Now let's check the candidate email box. They must have received an email with the interview detail in their mailbox. It is almost instant sharing. This email has unique interview link which candidate can use to initiate the interview, as well as a unique code for that interview. Candidate must appear this interview from desktop or laptop and must not use mobile or tablet. Now to appear in interview, candidate has to click on the link. It will open a new window in which candidate has to enter a unique code provided in email ID, and also they have to enter exact candidate email ID, which is a recruiter you used as a primary contact with the candidate. Once candidate enter the email ID and unique code, they need to hit submit button. Once submit button is clicked, it will redirect candidate to interview screen. Now let's understand this screen first before starting the interview. As you can see at the bottom right, it is showing error accessing the microphone. It is important that candidate must have these two things attached to his laptop or computer, web camera and headphone, as it is not attached in this case, so let me attach the same. Now I have attached microphone and camera, hence candidate need to reload the screen. Candidate must have attached this before performing any other action on this screen. Candidate must read the entire instruction set before starting the interview. It is very important candidate go through instruction in detail and must have microphone and camera attached. Once interview started, countdown timer will start, as well as candidate video recording will also start and will be visible here. Please note that candidate has to finish this interview in one sitting. Once interview started, he need to finish the same, since he will not be able to appear same interview again later. Now candidate needs to click start interview button. Once he clicks start interview button, in background interview will be prepared by engine for this candidate. It would certainly take few minutes to set up the interview. As you can see, interview setup is done, and a successful interview setup message is visible to candidate. It started video recording as well for the entire process. Now let's understand this interview screen. As you can see, this is a countdown timer already started. Since we have 60 minutes interview, currently it is at around 53 minutes. This is a live video recording of the interview. Please note that candidate face must be fully visible in this video. Having just body part is not good. Next, to have better interview experience, next and formal interview is presented as well, as this interview will be conducted by quick techie AI engine. Hence, no real human interviewer is needed. Candidate has to finish approximately 20 to 25 interview questions in an hour. He need to simply press ask question button. System will ask question which is relevant to given job and highly contextualized interview questions and job specific. Now let's have first question from engine.
Hi Rashmi, thank you for joining us today. Let's start with the first question for this full stack Java developer, IBM, role. Can you describe a complex architectural design decision you made in a previous project, considering both performance and scalability? Explain how you evaluated the options and the impact of your choice.
As you can see, this is highly relevant question for the given job. Now let me give answer to this question. To give answer to this question, we need to click start recording button. Once you click start recording button, it will also transcribe the interview in text box as well. Here the text response is very important. Only text response would be considered by evaluation engine to match the answer. Hence, you can correct text before submitting. Suppose it fails to submit because of intermittent issue with interview, you can hit again to submit your answer. Once you submit your answer, your responses will be visible in the left pane, entire text submitted by you. If you hit ask question again.
Next, Rashmi, how would you approach debugging a production issue in a distributed microservices environment where multiple teams are involved and various services are potentially affected?
Again, as you can see, this is highly contextualized interview. Next question is again relevant to the job. Same way candidate can record the answer and submit the same. If candidate tries to copy or paste any content, it will warn the candidate. Also, all actions of the candidate will be recorded to keep the interview highly standardized. As you can see, as candidate move ahead, all questions and answers are available in left pane. Now let's move for next question.
Let's proceed. Rashmi, how would you implement a solution to ensure data consistency across multiple microservices that need to access and modify shared data? Consider the challenges of concurrency and distributed transactions.
Candidate can directly type the answer in text box as well and submit the answer. Here, we will not write complete answer as it's demo.
Up next, Rashmi, describe your experience with monitoring tools for microservices. How would you collect metrics, identify performance issues, and troubleshoot
problems? As you can see, each next question is highly relevant to the interview. And if Hunnam interviewer conducting this interview, it is difficult to maintain that standard until and unless interviewer highly focus on job requirement and had good knowledge.
Continuing on, Rashmi, how would you approach the design of a microservices-based application that needs to handle a significant increase in traffic during peak periods? Consider strategies for scaling both horizontally and vertically.
Again, just let's pass this interview question. As all interview questions are completed and candidate hit the Ask Question button, it will submit the interview. Since all questions are completed, either candidate has to finish all question or in 60 minutes interview will be submitted by itself. Now, candidate has completed interview round. As a recruiter, you can come to your dashboard and go to Interview Operation Hub and select the job and candidate. Now you can see that first round interview state is assess. Since candidate has already completed, interview state is assess, and as a recruiter you can assess the interview. Before assessing the interview, if you want to check what candidate had answered for all question, you can check the same by launching the interview using Launch Interview button. In the left pane you can see all the question which are asked. If candidate has recorded audio, you can plat the same. You can see all question which engine asked is relevant to job only. In the right has side, you can see the status that interview was completed by candidate, and now as a recruiter, you need to assess this interview. Now go back to interview board and then from there you click Assess Interview button to assess this interview round. Please note that it would take approximately 5 minutes, since each individual question will be evaluated and also overall score of the interview will be generated. For each question score will be generated too. Let's wait for few minutes for entire assessment to be finished by engine. Now engine has completed the assessment, and now assessment will be loaded on the screen. You can see recorded video of the candidate is also available. Now let's check each section of assessment report. This section is entire job description for which candidate has given the interview. This left panel will show the each question, its audio candidate response as well as analysis by engine for each question respond. It give quantitative score as well as qualitative description, how candidate has performed for this question. You can check all question, its audio, its response and entire analysis. In the right top corner you can see the entire interview recording, what candidate was doing during the interview. This is very important, and you can use the same to validate the candidate performance and behavior during interview. Now, in next section, it will tell you the overall performance of the candidate. You must consider 75% and above result as good result, or you can read each question accuracy as well. In this case 40% was good response, and candidate did not do well at all. However, engine is not marking pass or fail to the candidate. It can be decided by recruiter as well. Engine is giving quantitative score and overall feedback. Next in this section you can check that what is the overall feedback of the candidate. You can play the entire interview feedback as well. Let's listen in this case.
Interview assessment. Full stack Java developer, IBM. Accuracy percentage, 40%. Overall detailed feedback, This candidate demonstrated a limited understanding of key concepts and struggled to provide concrete examples or detailed explanations. They frequently resorted to
Similarly, entire interview you can play back as well in audio format.
Hi Rashmi, thank you for joining us today. Let's start with the first question for this full-stack Java developer, IBM, role. Can you describe a complex architectural design decision you made in a previous project, considering both performance and scalability? Explain how you evaluated the options and the impact of your choice. Next, Rashmi, how would you approach debugging a production issue in a distributed microservices environment where multiple teams are involved and
We intentionally kept the video recording as it is, so that you can observe if anything candidate is trying to do during interview, it should be captured. As you can see, instead of his video, candidate is trying to add a photograph. Now let's go to Interview Hub back and select the job and candidate. Let's download the PDF report of this candidate. You can download this PDF report anytime during the interview or at the end or interview. Until this candidate and interviews are not deleted, you can download report. Now we can see the entire PDF report, which has resume shortlisting we have done previously, and the current state of each interview round. As for the first round of interview, we can see that interview evaluated and its score is available in pie chart as well as entire feedback. We can see candidate took 57 minutes for completing this interview round. Rest all interviews are still in pending status. Thanks for watching this entire demonstration. In this video we have shown how interview is shared with candidate and how candidate is appearing in interview. And once interview completed, how recruiter can assess or evaluate the interview.